Hi guys, this is Jonathan and Jackson with NJExperience.com. In today's session we're going to talk about knee walking, Suwari waza, the transition from knee walking to Hamni walking, and a neat way to work with new students on Akimi or to work on your fitness. So let's get right to it. I have my hakama pulled up as the samurai did when they were getting ready to go into combat. I fear no combat in this room, but I do want to be able to show you kind of the footwork. And so we have this, the hakama hitched, not to demonstrate footwork, but just to get it out of the way, which was the reason that the samurai did it also. And from here, we're just going to drop down into Seiza. Now, knee walking is something that the dojo that I trained in was not too big on. And the idea was simply, it isn't very practical or realistic, but I think there is possibly some value if you think of the historic context. So remember, the Japanese lived at this altitude, little small furniture on the ground, and more importantly, Nihon, Goshin, Aikido is from Hokkaido, which is where all of the samurai lived. And derived through the samurai, they basically spent indoors their entire life on their knees. And the reason is because in the protection of their shogun, they were not allowed to stand. Standing was a threatening position, and so the bodyguards, if you will, the samurai, were always on their knees. And so they trained to defend themselves from their knees against somebody standing, from their knees against somebody kneeling, and then worst case scenario, standing to standing. But so there is a lot of historical context here. But more importantly, there is a movement chain that if you start at the ground, you can appreciate what happens when you're standing. And so Jackson is going to demonstrate knee walking for us. So notice he walks out, and he basically is starting in a Hamni at this point. Look at his heels there connecting, and then when he begins to walk, he's got his hands on his hips, and he's just going to walk down the line. And notice that his heels never come apart. That's the trick to knee walking. You keep your heels together on the turn, and then walk some more. And then notice how the pathway that his knees take. One more step and then turn. Okay, Hamni turn. Now, come up into standing, and now do the same walk. And then watch how his moving foot traces the same arc that his knees were tracing. Right? Hands are in the same position, feet covering the same path, Hamni turn. And so you see the foundation, right? Knee walking, good knee walking creates good Hamni walking. And from here, we can build on this with some training. And it's good for warm-up, it's good for cool down, it's also just good for general fitness and easy ukimi. So if you have older students who don't like to roll or fall, from elevation anymore, Suwari waza is a neat way to train and continue to throw. And so let's look at some ideas, if you will. So. Come up and with live toes, and I'm here. And we're just going to do jack and grab. So he reaches out. So now we're just training on our knees. So everything is the same. Step back, step forward, put the lock on. Now he goes down. Now we're just going to finish this with an arm bar, push up. There we go. Show you one more time. So. Grabs, actually grab this side. So he grabs, step back, he steps forward just like he would in classical. I step back, lock comes on, breaks his fall, leans him over. I push over into arm bar. Recover. Okay, back to live toes. You can create, I'm in a neutral stance, he is in Hamni. Go ahead and put one, he is in Hamni. And so now we will do straight punch. Enter. Back to arm bar. Okay. If you wanted to throw a roundhouse, let's throw the roundhouse with that foot. Enter. throw easy. That was a little hard, sorry about that. Let's do spin around application. Those are always fun. Got to get a spin around in. So from a straight punch, I enter. Well, I've got spin around. He's fighting to gain his feet. Right? So there we go. Now, some interesting things about Suwari waza. If you do it, you'll be in grave pain because your feet are not used to sitting like this, toes are not used to being live, but don't let that deter you. Work a little bit of it into your practice because the aerobic benefit cannot be discounted. One of my, favorite Akikai senseis, Lamar Sanders in Columbia, South Carolina, has a saying that basically goes, you can't tell anybody that you trained Aikido if you didn't break a sweat during Aikido practice. And I think there's something to be learned from that. And so the neat thing about training in Suwari waza is it does have an aerobic effect. So for now, this is Jonathan and Jackson with NDExperience.com. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.